Now here's a tip, it doesn't matter whether you fish on the sea or in fresh water, from a boat, sooner or later you're going to need one of these. Yes, it's an anchor. Now this one in particular is called a Danforth. It can dig in that way or that way. It goes along. This goes hopefully into something nice and soft like mud, but very often it can go into a rock, a snag, maybe a piece of wreck. Now what you don't want to do is to tie the rope on just by the end of the shaft. It looks logical, that's where you tie the rope and throw it over the side until you get snagged. And then it doesn't matter how hard you pull, you won't get it back up. If you look on the end of this, there is a hole. You might think it's a problem made from a machining defect or something. No, wrong. That's for tripping the anchor. What you should do, I'll just pull that rope out, is tie it, obviously can't do it with this rope, with a shackle on this end. So that's your fixed point there. So therefore when you ever do pull from up high on the boat, you pull the anchor out of the snag. But you still need to locate it on the end here and use this ring, so when it's pulling into the mud, hopefully it's just mud, that's the direction it pulls. However, you still got to break it out if it does get snagged. I'm going to show you on my own boat anchor, give you a better idea. Now here's my anchor off High Sea Drifter. It's called a Bruce. It's a real wedge shape. It digs in the mud, it's got the flanges. It's a 5 kilo one, but you'll notice there, my main fixed point is with a shackle at one of those holes on the top. I'm going to join it here through that eye. Now the best way to do it, when I say the best way, this is the most common way I should say to do it, would be with a piece of nylon or a piece of cordage or even a piece of rope. I'll show you how it's done. Now you can see here, I've tied it using a piece of this nylon cordage, unravelled, and I'm just going to show you, as you pull in, that's going to hold all the time on the bottom. It's going to dig these flukes into the sand, but should you get snagged like this, as you can see, I could be under a snag. I'm actually under an old container here just to show you, but you can see the pulling point here is going to mean it's got to break here. So you're going to steam the boat up here over the top. You're going to change this angle, putting it right up the top, and it's going to put all the strain here. And if I do pull this, it should break free like this. Then the power comes down here, and as you can see, you move the boat. Watch how easy this is. One jerk. There you go, it's come out. That's how to get your anchor back. A quicker way, if you don't or cannot afford any string, is to use these. Quick, simple and easy, just regular cable ties. They come in different sizes. You can use 1, 2 or 3 here. You go through the eyelet on the end of the shaft of the anchor, through one of the links of the chain, make sure it's nice and tight, pull them down tight like this. You've got the same principle, you can pull it round and it will break out. Just pulls out, snaps off, same principle. But recently I came across another way of doing it, and this one, save using the string and the cable ties all the time, can stay on the shaft or it can stay on the anchor. Okay, so this is like a stainless loop with what we're going to call that, a sort of latch onto it. This is all fixed on there, but there's a gap there for taking it off. So what you do, the release point incidentally is just there where that gap is. What you do, you set it so there's about 2 or 3 links of slack in the chain and it's pulling on there. That's my break point there, and obviously you can gather something bizarre is going to happen at this end. Well, what you do is you get yourself a pair of crocodile grips, mole grips, and you adjust the tension up here. The further up you push this little sleeve, the tighter it's going to pull those jaws together. So I'm just going to pinch up a little bit, just slide it up like that. I'm going to lock it in the bottom of that steel base there, and when we pull hard, that should pull out. Okay, as you can see, I've got my little bit of slack here. I've got my anchor trip here. I've got it adjusted on that particular setting. Ordinarily, I would have it further down because I'll be pulling out with a boat, but I'm pulling it out with my hands. Now, this break point down the end should trip out and pop around the edge there. We'll just give it a try. It's popped out. Up we come. There's the anchor. It's pulling from the top end of the anchor, which pulls these flukes out of the snag. And with this one, most important rather than the string and the cable ties, it stays on there, and all you've got to do is slide this up and down again, relocate, put it on. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 3 basic tips on how to trip your anchor.